Think that'll give the scouts some breathing room?
Absolutely. Khan Artemate will be thrilled.
Hold on, hold on.
The Western Circuit of Musing. Easy to get lost in the Institute's intricate halls.
End of the lifeline, Bryn.
Some kind of liquid flow control valves. Complicated. The dark water system. We could imagine there are many pools like this deeper into the underworks.
Sealant. Waterproof joints for piping. Looks like. The seal on this paperwork looks exactly like the waterwheel symbol Seb and the Eye both wear. Definitely the right place. So, Norians.
The Norians were experts in water storage and conveyance, and active before the surge, but disappeared shortly thereafter. Or rather, they wanted to disappear and subsumed their identities into a series of careful fronts, cover names, and the like. Thankfully, the trade record you found led to a whole web of associations, many of whom have had dealings with my family.
What did you find out about the Norians before the surge?
They seemed a somewhat innocuous, but as far as I could tell, they mostly dealt in water.
Dealt, meaning what in this context?
Aqueducts, reservoirs, wells, you name it. If it stored, gathered, extracted, or moved water, they were involved.
That explains the complicated valve I found underground.
Absolutely. They had specialized knowledge, which I assume is why the Enclave contracted them. Gas, such as raw magic, is a fluid after all.
How is the Norian Order related to Tarza?
As I'm sure you know, Tarza is an amalgam of numerous desert kingdoms. Before the Surge, Tarza had grown reliant on the same weather control enchantments that were used in Judea. After the Surge, both nations suffered greatly. Tarza in particular was struck with savage droughts.
Meaning folks, like the Norians, who specialize in water, had essential skills and...
I expect they were critical in keeping Tarza's many cities alive at all, a position that would afford them considerable influence.
Do you have any idea why they decided to hide?
Purely conjecture, but let's look at the evidence. We know from Sev's ring that the Norians are still around today.
It could be a trinket, or hand-me-down. But you're right that his behavior with the eye suggests that...
Exactly. Now consider the Order's secretive nature. Combined, I would speculate that the Norians used the Surge as... Take a nation that used magic to keep the water flowing, face it with disaster. What kind of deals might a group of desperate rulers be willing to make, do you think?
But monarchs wouldn't want anything that undercuts their authority or power to slip out to the populace.
As I said, pure conjecture, but if it walks like a duck and
Knowing what we know now, what do we do about Sev?
I believe we can say for sure that he and the Eye are somehow related through this Norian organization. From Sev's visits to the Hold, I imagine they're working together on something, but I'm not sure exactly what else to do with that information.
I gave Sev some help collecting materials. He's definitely working on some kind of project. He asked me to trust him. Maybe it's time to ask for that favor in return.
A good idea. Speak to Sola first, though. I've updated her, and she might have some ideas on how best to confront him.
Thanks for your help, Lane.
It's no trouble at all. This is what I do, and I rather...
You don't mind me hanging out here, do you?
Not at all. Why do you ask?
Cool. Jasmine just seemed a little off. I had a sense.
Sev. What are we going to do with you?
You know him better than me. Can we trust him?
I hope so. But it's pretty obvious Sev is being pressured by the Eye due to their Norian connection. And I do not trust him. Anyway, what did you learn from helping Sev?
He's either constructing or repairing something that requires exotic materials.
As I said, it reminded me of how he fixed the gate in the Hollow. I would wager the Eye heard about our exploits.
Could be.
He's a clever one, our Ram. There's really only one thing for it.
Direct confrontation.
We're going to let him know we care. Then we're going to let him sit with it. Wait for me in the hold. We'll talk to him there, away from the others, so he doesn't feel like we're ganging up on him.
If you're interrupting my petition reading time, I hope you're bringing me some good news.
Nothing but. The way's clear for the scouts to start retrieving those supplies.
Anything to add, Arakim?
I'm shaken to my core by the revelation that one can achieve things without forms signed in triplicate.
Interesting. I won't argue with success. Especially when it keeps our people going. Bryn, since you've proven yourself useful, I've considered the ways in which you can assist us further. We'll need Isla's help for this next step, though.
Oh, we're all on a first-name basis with her.
I
actually just finished helping her with something. Shall we go fetch?
Yes, let's do...
I need to go make a report to my scouts, but I owe you a drink for sure.
I'll hold you to that.
Please tell me you've got a distraction for me. Are you all right, Isla?
I'm just, a little tired, is all. Between powering an arc by myself and confronting my father on the same... Even as a previous High Enchantress, it took a lot out of me. I'm still working my way through it. And I need to figure out an independent power source for the arc. It's too much to think about.
I'm sorry. Should we do this another time?
No. Please. I need distractions. Or I might be tempted to set the hold ablaze.
Fair enough. What have you got for us, Karnatame?
An issue we faced in the early days of their appearance and are now facing once again is the ability of the Surgeborn to navigate the Enclave. Put simply, they are using our Loomgate network to traverse great distances in an instant. We can't let that stand. I'm only familiar with the Loomgate's design through my parents' work on them. But Bryn recently helped us access a supply cache in the Institute, and we found something that could help. A set of schematics for a device to block the Surgeborn from using the Loomgates while keeping them accessible to us.
A way to filter out the Surgeborn without endangering Weavers. It could significantly impact their... How can I help?
Well, they're incomplete, and I was hoping you could tell us what's missing.
Let's see...
Bryn, while she looks over the schematics, do you have any questions?
Where's this device going once we finish building it?
The resonance modulator should connect...
Returning to the scene of the crime.
The harness acts as a central nexus that controls... Hence, why you were able to...
At least I can't unleash the Surgeborn a second time.
Small mercy.
Why didn't they finish the schematic?
My understanding is that at that I still grapple with the remnants of that bureaucracy every day. So let's just say that they were probably told to submit it to a committee before proceeding with the design.
Even though it was urgent and would have saved hundreds of lives?
For some people, propriety dictates priority. And, for the record, much of my life's work has been in service of streamlining that kind of bureaucracy. We cannot risk following the same path that led us to ruin.
How do we know that this modulator will work?
Whoever designed this clearly knew what they were doing. It's beautiful, elegant work.
I'll say. It feels... familiar, almost.
We could check through the rest of the paperwork, see if we can...
Yes.
I've had enough. The sooner we get this modulator, I'm assuming you'll be the one to build this. What do I need to bring you?
To be frank, considering all your Weaver Band's achieved since you arrived, it's clear to me that you brought with you an expertise that, with that in mind, I would love to leave this in your Smith's cake.
She's primarily self-taught, actually. But I'll pass on the...
That's astonishing. For the body of the... But the rest?
Yes. Like you said, it's amazingly simple. What's missing from the schematics is the part that allows us to calibrate it. But it's clear in my mind what the finished design should look like. There. It's like the design itself wanted me, or someone. To calibrate it, we'll need some representative samples of Surgeborn. Let's say husk and huskhound fur. Get plenty of both.
And then I take the finished resonance modulator to the harness.
Exactly.
It should be pretty obvious where to place it, too. You'll know, if you do it right.
Gotcha. Time to hunt a few Surgeborn.
I recall there was something you wanted, yes?
I was hoping you could help me with an investigation. I'm looking for...
Have you lost yours somehow?
No. But I have a lead on a shipment. I was hoping you could ask around the Hearthsider homesteads to see...
Ah, and this is related to Arakim making a mess of our records, I assume.
Yes?
Very well. I will ask around as a favor to you, Bryn.
Hello, Sebastian.
Bryn. Hello?
Hey. Listen, we just have something to say. Shh. You're good. Just listen for a second, okay? We know the Eye has you working on some project. We know you two have some kind of connection, and we want you to know it's okay.
Sola's right, big guy. And if you need help, or if something's happening you're not comfortable with, you tell us, okay? We came in here as a team, and nothing's going to change that.
Exactly. Anytime you need to talk, apprentice of mine, you know where we are. And we'll listen.
I don't know what to say.
You'll know when it's time. We'll see you at camp, okay?
Yes.
Ever since we learned of the verdant mines, I haven't been able to stop. They were clearly well resourced in regards to both labor power, and they had an extremely intimate knowledge of the Enclave's technology.
Cassidon's Hold's biggest ass?
The very same. I just think it's interesting how he's kept quiet about it.
I don't expect much from him.
I don't know if he was involved with the events surrounding the Verdant Mind's attempt to take down the Veil.
So what are you thinking?
I'd like to send you out on a fact-finding mission for now.
Gotcha. I'll be back when I found everything you're after.
Thanks, Bryn.
I think we can call that as close as we're going to get.
I agree. Good news, Arik. It's likely your caravan...
You're sure?
Reasonably. We know which caravan was carrying a sealed case of two scries from the Keeper.
There's no log of it departing, and the logs were quite consistent.
And the Axle had several older drovers who told stories of caravans that lost control of their beat. More than a few, sadly, pitched their entire caravan into...
The runners would have recovered anything that important years ago were it still by the...
Suggesting the scries might have gone over the edge.
I can take a look. Absolutely.
Just be careful. The tangles get thick down there.
These all seem to be speeches that the eye delivered. These are dated 40 years ago, but I could still imagine all of these things today.